Welcome to Preserving the Pantry, where I talk about everything related to food preserving. I am your host, Kathy Burgett.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Preserving the Pantry. We are talking about canning today, and today we are going to be talking about altitude in canning. Not attitude in canning, but altitude, the elevation where you are at, and how that affects your canning and why it's important. Hopefully you have a good attitude when you're canning as well, because why bother canning unless you're going to enjoy it? Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. So we're talking about the altitude today. It's very important. So when you're looking at a recipe, a canning recipe, it should always include either a direct link to how you will adjust for your elevation or a chart that shows you how you adjust for that elevation. You need to really pay attention to that. Don't just say that doesn't matter and let it go by the wayside. It matters if you want safe canned food. So let's take a look at how elevation matters, how it affects the canning. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. But as you go higher up in elevation, that boiling point actually lowers. It lowers by 2 degrees Fahrenheit for every 1,000 feet that you go up. So if you are at 2,000 feet in elevation, your boiling point of water is 208 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're at 5,000 feet in elevation, your boiling point is 203 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you are at 7,500 feet, you live way up there, your boiling point is 198 degrees Fahrenheit. When we are processing foods, having the correct temperature for boiling the waters and reaching a temperature for a right amount of time is really important so that that food is safe and you've killed the bacteria or anything that's in there. If you're new to canning, there are two main methods for canning. There's water bath canning and there's pressure canning. I have two very detailed posts that outline everything that you need to know about water bath canning and pressure canning. I'll include direct links to those posts so that you can read through there and really understand the difference as well as the process for canning. They're both great ways of canning, but it's really important that you know when to use the water bath canner and when to use the pressure canner. For water bath canning, your jars go into a large pot full of boiling water that will have a lid on it. And you'll process those for a certain amount of time. The amount of time will change depending on your elevation. So the higher you are, the more time that is added to the water bath canning. For pressure canning, the pressure canning works by raising the temperature within the pressure canner above the 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and the time doesn't change when you're pressure canning, but the amount of pressure added changes depending on your elevation. If you don't know what your elevation is, there are some websites where you just type in your address and it tells you your exact elevation. Check those out if you don't know where you're at. For me, I am just below 2,000 feet. So I always round up to 2,000 feet, and that's what I look at. I adjust for both my water bath canning by adding additional time, and I adjust my pressure canning by adding additional pressure. Make sure you read those and really find out what you need to do, know where you live, and how you need to adjust. I'll see you next week in the pantry. Bye. Thanks for listening, and be sure to tune in again next week for more episodes of Preserving the Pantry.